Today we are going to power electronics subject, series and parallel inverters. Series inverters and parallel inverters. In previous class we have discussed about inverters and what are the requirement of thyristors and application of thyristors and inverters. The today class, on the completion of this topic, we would be able to know what is the series inverter and its working, what is parallel inverters, its working, what is the series inverter and its working, and what is the parallel inverter, its working. What are the inverters? In previous class we have discussed about what are the inverters. The inverter is a device which convert from DC power into AC power, DC power into AC power, and its classification and its application in last class we have to discussing. So in those classification, the so many types of classification is there. Depend upon the connection of device. The classification is nothing but series and parallel inverters. Series and parallel inverters. So today class we have discussed about what is the inverters and its working, what is the parallel inverters and its working. The series inverters, we know based on the types of connection, the series inverters, three types is there. We know that the based on the types of connection of the inverters, three types is there: series inverters, parallel inverters, and bridge inverters. Series inverters, parallel inverters, and bridge inverters. Now in series inverters, in series type of inverter, the commutating elements L and C, inductive elements and capacitive elements, are connected permanently in series, with the load. Hence it is called as series inverter. The series inverter is defined as the commutating elements in the inductors and the inductive elements and capacitive elements. These are the commutating elements or filter elements also. So these two elements are connected permanently in series with the load. So hence it is called as series inverter. This is a circuit diagram. For series inverter. The T1, T2 are the thyristor, two thyristors, the T1 thyristor and T2 thyristors. And these are the capacitance. These are the capacitive elements C, and this is the L elements. These are the inductive elements L. Capacitive elements C and inductive elements L. And it is a series connected with the load. That is the R load. That is the resistance load. This is the circuit diagram for series inverter. The thyristor T1 and thyristor T2. And these are the V means the voltage source. Here the voltage source is the DC. Here. So the positive and the negative. The positive is connected to the T1 of anode, and negative is connected to the T2 of cathode. Next, the resistance load is connected with the cathode terminal of T2 terminal, thyristor T2, or negative supply of battery. So this is called as the series inverter circuit diagram. So what you call series inverter? Commutating element C and L. Capacitive elements and inductive elements are connected with resistance load here, connected with the resistance load here. So that is called as the series inverter. That is called as series inverters. This is the circuit diagram for series inverter. This is the circuit diagram for series inverter. Next, this is the series inverters output waveform. This is the series inverter output waveform. This is the series inverter output waveform. Here the T1, the firing pulses for T1. The first figure is nothing but the thyristor T1 firing circuits, and second figure is nothing but firing pulse for T2. Firing pulse for T2. First figure is nothing but firing pulse for T1. Second figure firing pulse for T2. These are the two firing angle, two firing pulses is given to the alternative thyristor T1 and T2. And third figure is nothing but load current, output load current, and fourth figure is nothing but voltage across capacitance, voltage across capacitive elements. The capacitive elements is called as the commutating elements. So this waveform is nothing but voltage across the capacitor, capacitors, and last one voltage across the inductance element, inductive elements. This is also called as commutating element. So these are the waveform. These are the output waveform and the operation. Next. So here this is the waveform, this is the circuit diagram, and this is the corresponding waveform for circuit diagram. So this is the series inverters. So operation, the commutating element L and C are connected in series with the load resistance. The commutating element L and C, inductive and capacitive elements, are connected in series with the load, So here, so it is called as the series inverter. It is called as the series inverters. Here three modes of operation is there. Three modes of operation. In mode 1, here in this mode, the capacitor is initially charged with top negative plate. Here capacitive element. Here two plates is there, two elements is there in capacitance. So the top element, that is the negative element, the negative plate of capacitors initially charged. When the thyristor T1 is turned on, it is the forward bias and start to conducting. Here thyristor T1 is positive. When the DC positive supply is given, the DC positive supply is given to the thyristor T1, or firing pulse is applied to the thyristor T1, thyristor is start to conducting a delay angle of alpha. Here firing pulse for T1. So here firing pulse is given, then thyristor is start conducting a delay angle of alpha. If thyristor T1 of anode is positive terminal of source battery is connected to the thyristor T1, then thyristor T1 is forward bias, then thyristor T1 is start to conducting. Hence the output current and current passes through the load. Here positive plate of the battery, and T1 and C and L and R load, and the negative supply of battery, In this direction, current flowing through the load during the forward bias condition, or during the positive voltage is given. The positive terminal of is connected to the thyristor T1 of anode of the thyristor T1. Then this forward bias and it will be start to conducting. If firing pulses is given to the this thyristor, if firing pulses is given to the thyristor T1 by using external triggering circuit, then the thyristor is start to conducting a delay angle of alpha, If there is no given to the firing pulses, so then thyristor is not conducting it with delay angle of alpha, directly conducting. So once again I am repeating, if thyristor T1 is forward bias, when the thyristor T1 is forward bias, the anode of the thyristor T1 is positive with respect to cathode, then thyristor T1 is forward bias. If thyristor is forward bias, thyristor T1 is start to conducting. So the current flowing through the load, positive of supply, and T1, C and L and R negative of supply, the closed loop form. Then current is continuous flows through the load, continuous current flowing through the load. When the current is at its peak voltage, the voltage across the capacitor near to equal to supply voltage. When the current is continuous flowing, reach the peak voltage here. The middle one, dotted line middle, dotted one middle. So when the current is reaches at the maximum, load current is reaches the maximum, then the voltage across the capacitor is the nearly equal to supply voltage. After the reaching the current is maximum, the current start is decreasing here. After the current is the increasing maximum, after current is the start to decreasing from the middle point, dotted middle line point to A point, then in the load current waveform you have to observe in the load current waveform. So it reaches the maximum current and is the reached at the A terminal, at the A terminal. So here continue decreases. When the current is become to zero, the voltage across the capacitor is V plus EC here. Here the load current is the 0 at point A. So the voltage across the capacitor is equal to V plus EC here, Here the thyristor T1 is here thyristor T1 is commutated. Here that means the thyristor T1 is the commutating, that is the turn off. The left place of capacitor is positive at point A. Hence the thyristor T1 is commutating. Here the load current is the 0. If the load current is the 0, means the thyristor T1 is a turn off. Or thyristor T1 is a commutating. Commutated. So here the thyristor T1 is reverse bias. So after the reverse bias, the load current is the 0 at point A. But voltage across the capacitor is maintains V plus EC. The voltage, source voltage V, and voltage across the battery voltage capacitor. Why? Because its capacitor is act as a energy storing device. So it store the some energy. Here. So it is the some voltage drop across the capacitor. So that voltage is called as the V plus EC from A point to B point in the dotted line. The dotted line voltage across the capacitor, dotted line here. Voltage across the capacitors. Some dotted line. The between the two dotted line is the voltage capacitor is the continuous here. Voltage capacitor between the two dotted line is continuous. That is the voltage is called as the V plus EC. Next, in the mode 2 operation, in the mode 2 operation, here the thyristor T2 is immediately does not start conducting. Here thyristor T2 does not immediately start conducting after A to B, between the load current A point to B point, load current A point to B point here. But maintain voltage capacity is the continuous, voltage capacity is the some magnitude is there. Why? Because capacitor act as a energy storing devices. Capacitor act as a energy storing devices. So here thyristor T2 is does not immediately conducting after current through T1 is reduced to 0. So the reverse bias should be applied to the thyristor T1 successfully commutated. So if the T1 is triggered without time delay, the battery get short through T1 and T2. So here the voltage across the inductance is the 0 here. Voltage across inductance is the 0 here. If thyristor T2 start to conducting, the thyristor is T2 start to conducting here immediately in between the A point to B point, immediately if thyristor T2 is immediately start to conducting, so it will be short circuited. With the battery, So here the voltage across the inductance is the 0 from here maximum to here. So with the reach some negative, some extension angle is produced here, and at the A point voltage across inductance is the 0. So here A point to B point, here dotted line A point to B point, voltage across the inductance, you have to observe voltage across inductance A point and B point is the voltage across inductance is the 0 here. Voltage across inductance is the 0. So in the mode 2 operation, so the voltage across inductance is the 0. So the time interval A and B must be more than turn off time of thyristors. The time delay of time interval of A and B point. Here. The time interval of A and B point is the time delay is the more than turn off time of SCR. Or thyristors. So voltage across the capacitor is maintained constant. Voltage across maintained across the constant here V plus EC. Here the turn off time period between the A and B point for the load current and voltage across the capacitor V plus EC is the constant. Why? Because here turn off time period is the more than time interval between the A and B. So here voltage across the capacitor is the continuous, but voltage across inductance is the 0. So voltage across inductance is the 0. Next in mode 3 operation. In mode 3 operation. In this mode, the thyristor T2 is turned on by applying an external triggering pulses. In this mode, thyristor T2 is turned on by using external firing circuit. Here the gate pulse we have to apply to the thyristor T2. Firing pulses is applied through the gate terminal of SC of thyristors by using external triggering circuits. In the mode 3 operation, the T2 is start to conducting. In the mode 3 operation, thyristor T2 is start conducting. How thyristor T2 start conducting? When firing pulses is given through the gate terminal of thyristor T2, then thyristor is start to conducting. Thyristor start to conducting. So that means here, hence the thyristor is positive due to the charge of capacitors. Hence the capacitor is discharged and current flowing in opposite direction of as compared to the mode 1 operation. So here in this direction the current direction is the opposite to the in mode 1 operation. Here the current direction is the opposite. Current direction is the opposite to the mode 1 operation. So here the current direction is started at the B point. It started at the B point, and the current is the reach the maximum current at the load current, and after it will be decay to the zero. Then the voltage across the capacitor maintain is constant at the maximum load current. Voltage across the capacitor is increases, that is a constant. Increases means that is a constant. After the load current is the decreases is to the zero, and voltage across the capacitor also is discharge the energy. That means the decreases. Discharge the energy. It means the decreases. So the capacitor is discharged, and the current in is I flow in the opposite direction as compared to the mode 1 operation. The current is increases at the negative direction. After it reaching the negative peak value, it will be decreases to the zero at point C. Here the negative direction current is the increases when thyristor T2 is start conducting. During the firing pulse for T2 is applied, then thyristor T2 start conducting. So here the current is the increases in the negative direction from the B point to maximum point, but voltage across the capacitor is the continuous. After the load current reaches the maximum, then the current is decreases maximum to point C, and the voltage across the capacitor is the discharge. So voltage of capacitor is the decreases here. But the voltage across the inductance is the negative point to negative terminal. During the negative, the current is the direction the negative, so voltage of capacitor also negative. It will be decreases to the, and next increases to the positive, and it is the zero at point C. That is the voltage across the inductance. The current here you have to observe here. The current is increases in negative direction, and after reaching the negative peak value, it will be decreases to the zero. At point C, thyristor T2 is turn off. So here the above sequence of mode are repeated in the next cycle. Above sequence of mode are repeated in the next cycle. Here the three modes of operation is there. In the mode, once again I am repeating here. In the mode 1 operation, thyristor T1 is start to conducting when the firing pulse is given to the thyristor T1, or positive battery supply is given to the T1 thyristor. Then it will be load current is increases from the zero to maximum, and voltage across the capacitance also is increases. That is the negative plate. The negative plate is here connected. So negative plate is the charging. Negative plate is the charging here. So it will be start from the negative point. The current is the load current reaches the maximum, and voltage across the capacitor also reaches the maximum. After the load current is decreases from the maximum to A point, then voltage across the capacitor maintain constant. Here the voltage across the load is nothing but voltage across the inductance means here voltage across the load means here the thyristor T2 does not conducting. Here negative plate is the charging, but the voltage across the inductance is started to the positive. It will be started from the positive to reaches the zero and the negative. It will be started from the peak value of positive voltage across the inductance here. Then it will be zero at maximum current, maximum load current, voltage across the inductance. Then the current will be decreases voltage across the capacitor maintains the constant, and voltage across the inductance means the negative side is increases, and it will be 0 when the thyristor T2 is turned off at A point. A thyristor T2 is turned off at A point. This is the mode 1 operation. Next, in the mode 2 operation, the node device is start conducting here. The no one device start to conducting here. No one device is start to conducting here. So here the thyristor T2 is start conducting. In mode 3 operation, thyristor T2 start conducting. In mode 2 operation, no one device is start conducting, but here the time interval between the A and B, here the voltage across the capacitance is maintained constant. Voltage across the capacitance is maintained constant from the A to B point. But here the current is the 0. Here current is the 0. Why? Because here no one device is start conducting here. So here the voltage across the load is the 0. Voltage across the load is the 0. Here there is no device start conducting. So the energy completely discharged in the voltage across the inductance. Voltage across inductance is the discharge here. But voltage across the capacitor is maintained the voltage constant. Here the maximum negative plate is the maximum is charges. So mode 2 operation, voltage across the capacitor is the maintained constant, but voltage across the inductance is the 0 here, 0 between A and B terminal, A and B interval of terminal, A and B interval. At the B interval, mode 3 operation is started. Mode 3 operation. In this mode, thyristor T2 is start conducting. When firing pulse is given to the thyristor T2 by using external firing circuit through the gate terminal of T2. Every words we have to listen and completely. So here mode 3 operation, thyristor T2 is start conducting when firing pulses is given. to the thyristor T2. So here the voltage across the capacitance is maintained constant, but the current direction is 0. That means the negative plate is the discharge. The negative plate is the discharge the capacitance current. So the here current is a constant. After the current is the discharge means the voltage across capacitance decreases. But load current is the negative direction is maintained is the increases, reach the maximum value. After is the decreases maximum to point C. Voltage across the inductance during the negative direction of load current, and voltage across the inductance also negative direction, and after it will be discharged the complete the capacitor, it reach the maximum voltage across the inductance is the to reach the positive peak. After it will be decreases. So this is the mode 3 operation. The mode 1 and mode 3, mode 2 and mode 3 operation of series inverter. Mode 1, mode 2, mode 3 operation of series inverters. So clearly explain here in each and every slide and in every mode. Here this is the mode 1 and this is the mode 2. This is mode 2 and this is the mode 3. Next, the advantages of series inverters. The simple circuit, the output is nearly sinusoidal. These are the two advantages. Simple circuit. Circuit is a very simple here. Circuit is a very simple. Just the computing element C, L and C are connected to the load, and two thyristor is connected in anti-parallel. So simple circuits. And sinusoid output is nearly sinusoidal. Output nearly sinusoidal here. Output nearly sinusoidal. Output load current is nearly sinusoidal. These are the advantages. These are advantages, and this is the disadvantages. The current rating of computing element L and C are high. The current rating of computing element is very high. Computing element of current rating is very high. The battery voltage has harmonic due to the time delay. The battery is voltage has harmonic. So the battery voltage, that is the capacitor element here there. So here some harmonic is produced. That is one of the disadvantages. The output voltage has harmonic due to the time delay. The output voltage has harmonic. The output voltage are some harmonics is there due to the time delay. So due to the time delay, for the time delay, the processing of SCR is start conducting in mode 1, mode 2, mode 3 operation. So here some harmonic is produced. Next is the maximum load current. It depends on the load resistance. The maximum load current depends on load resistance. Therefore, output regulation of the inverter is poor. Therefore, output voltage regulation of the inverter is poor. Applications. So they are mainly used in the induction heating and fluorescent lighting. Induction heating and fluorescent lighting. The series inverter are used in induction type heating. We have to learn in utilization induction heating. These are one of the types of heating, that is the induction heating. And fluorescent light and fluorescent tube, you have to use it in this application of series inverters. Next we are going to the parallel inverters. The parallel inverters, the commutating capacitor is connected across primary of transformer, and the load is across the secondary, The commutating element is connected across the primary of transformer, and the load is connected across the secondary. Hence it is called as the parallel inverter. The load is connected directly on secondary side of transformer, and on primary of transformer the capacitor is connected across the primary winding of transformer. So this is called as the parallel inverter. This is parallel inverters. This is the circuit diagram. For parallel inverters. Here on the primary side directly connected capacitors, and secondary side the load is connected. And here the tapping is provided on with the thyristor T1 and T2 and D1 and D2, and the inductance are connected to the D1 and D2. This is the circuit diagram. Now this is the parallel inverter output waveform. This is the parallel inverter output waveform. This is a commutating transient waveform, and these are the voltage across the load. This is the load current. The square shape waveform is called as the voltage across the inductance. And these are the sinusoidal type is called as the voltage current flowing through the load. The T1, T2, T3, T4 is called the time interval. Next in mode 1 operation. T1 is turned on at the instant of T1, at the instance of T1, the current flowing from positive terminal to A, C, T1 and L and to negative terminal. So if thyristor T1 is start conducting, when thyristor T1 is start conducting, the current flowing through the load, when current flowing through the load, C, initially C, A, T1 and L and negative terminal of A. C, here C at point C and A and T1 and L and negative terminal then here the half portion of so due to the voltage across the induced at a secondary winding as well as the portion of winding between E and C. So here the current flowing through the current direction of C, A, T1, L and negative terminal, then it will be induced EMF. Based on the principle of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, it will be induced. Then depends on the induced EMF, that is the intention on the induced EMF. So the here the voltage is induced at a secondary winding as well as portion of secondary winding, means the secondary winding also induced as well as, and E and C this is also induced, this one is also induced. So the induced EMF is produced on the secondary winding. So because of the number of turns are C, A, E, C and secondary is parallel. Number of winding A, B, C, D and E. So it will be induced EMF. So the secondary winding are the induced more. So induced more means that is the equal to the primary. Hence the capacitor will be charged to 2 volts. The capacitor voltage is charged to 2 volts. With polarity. And the load is inductive load. Current is increases from time interval T1. So here the inductance is the voltage across the inductance L is increases start from the negative. This means next instant. This is the next instant at the T4, T5, T6. So this instant is coming here. So it will be start at the T1 here first. Initially started the T1. So the voltage across the inductance is increases at the instant of T1 terminal. So this is the mode 1 operation. In the mode 1 operation, thyristor T1 is start conducting. How to start conducting? When the firing pulse is given to the thyristor T1. So here the primary winding is induced. How to induced? In the portion of positive terminal C, A, T1, L and negative terminal So the current flowing through this portion of winding, primary winding, A and C portion is primary winding, and it will be induced to the C, between the C and E. So the primary winding, all windings are the induced EMF is the EMF is produced in the primary winding. Then the flux will be travel through the secondary winding. So here in parallel inverter, these two windings are the electrically separated, magnetically linking. So the flux will be travel in field, magnetic field, the electromagnetic field. So the secondary winding also induced. So current flowing through the load, IL current flowing through the load, and voltage across the load is like this. This is the square shape. Some harmonics produce. Square shape is called a voltage across the inductance. And here this is the current is start at the instant from T1. The current is start at instant T1 is increases. Next, this is the mode 1 operation. Next, mode 2 operation. The thyristor T2 is turned on at instant T2. There is a T2 is turn on at instant of T2 instant. Then the capacitor voltage become reverse bias to T1. The capacitor voltage become reverse bias to T1. So T1 will be commutated. T1 will be commutated. T1 will be commutated. So hence, so T1 is a turn off. T1 is a turn off. The capacitor will be discharged. The capacitor will be discharged. Now the capacitor will be discharged through. The capacitor will be discharged through T2 L T2 L and here D1 and portion of B and A of primary winding. Portion B and A of primary winding. Portion B and A of primary winding. Here the current flow into direction of capacitor T2, inductance D1, B and A, B and A. So and negative terminal. So this portion, this portion of primary winding. So during this period, the potential of point B is fixed by the DC battery voltage, and load voltage will be positive and more than battery voltage. During this period, the potential of point B, during this period, potential at the point P is fixed by the DC battery, DC battery. So the voltage is positive more than battery voltage, Next, in the mode 3, when load current becomes 0 here, the load current becomes 0. Load current becomes 0 here. So the D2 will be stopped to conducting. Then at the instant of T4 time period, the T1 is turn on again in the reverse load current. Now the load voltage is equal to V. Load will become voltage to V here. At the instant of T2, the thyristor T1 is start conducting. The load voltage, the reverse direction, the load voltage become equal to V. Now this is the T1 to T4. Is the load voltage equal to V voltage. During the time period of T4 to T5 here, T4 to T5, both the load voltage and load current are reverse. Both load voltage and load current are the reverse. Here. So at the instant T5, the thyristor thyristor is turn on again. Thyristor T5 is turn on again here. Thyristor T5 turn on again. T1 is turn on again. Hence, from the above, each thyristor trigger twice in cycle. So therefore, the each thyristor is turned on by pulse train for minimum period is 1/4 cycle. The output frequency of parallel inverter can be controlled by turn on of frequency of thyristors. So this is the parallel inverters. So today we have discussed about what is the series inverter it working and what is the parallel inverter it working. Here the parallel inverter you have to study in clearly, then you have to understand and don't disappoint here. You have to prepare well, read well and prepare well. Next questions. What are the different types of inverter depend upon the types of conversion? Option A, series inverter, parallel inverter. Option C is bridge inverter. Option D is all of the above. So here depend upon the connection, three types is there, that is a series inverter, parallel inverter, bridge inverters. So option D is correct answer. All of the above. Some frequently asked question. Explain the operation of series inverter with the need sketch and explain the operation of parallel inverter with the need sketch. The two questions is there. Two questions is there here. One of the operation of series inverter and other the operation of parallel inverter. One of the operation of series inverter, other operation of parallel inverter. with the need diagram and with help of waveform here. Diagram help of diagram and waveform. These are the parallel inverter, and this is the series inverter. This is the series inverter. This is a circuit diagram. This is a waveform, and these are the operation: mode 1, mode 2, and mode 3. There are 3 modes of operation for the series inverter, and for the parallel inverter, this is the circuit diagram, and this is the output waveform, and this is the mode 1 operation, and this is the mode 2 operation, and this is the mode 3 operation. Mode 3 operation here. This is also parallel inverter. Just a parallel inverter we have to study clearly, then we have to understand. Don't disappoint. The clearly explain in each slide. Clearly explain in each slide. So if any doubt, just we have to write the comment in comment box. Then I have to clarify to you. So only just only here only two long question is there. That is the explain with need diagram of series inverter. Explain the next question. Explain the operation of parallel inverter with need diagram of circuit. Okay, thank you.